Hello guys, today I'm going to be telling you how to play Trundle Jungle, especially in decently high elo. This isn't like diamond elo. I'm playing on my account that's Platinum 4, so I'm playing high gold, low plat. Um, and so yeah, today I'm going to be showing you how to Trundle Jungle. Right now the runes are going to be up on the screen for y'all to see. Trundle Jungle is actually a very viable, especially the lower elo you are. I think the better he is. Trundle is a super simple champion, and that's what makes him so good. Is that he doesn't have a super high skill curve, and it's pretty easy to jump into a game as Trundle and understand what you need to do. If you want to end a game early, in my opinion, objective control is literally all you need. And in this game, I'm going to show you how to out jungle high gold or low plat junglers, and it's pretty simple actually. So this works. This method works with most elos until you start to get to the higher ones because their top laner didn't bother like warding or even like most top laners, especially the better you are, you like to go to their blue buff, see what's happening, or maybe their mid laner will ward it. I don't know, just kind of depends. But at least someone wards their blue. I didn't want to mirror their jungle because I know Kha'Zix starts on his red. He does some AoE camps, I'm pretty sure. So I'm like, you know what? Blue invade is perfect. I can get blue, go to Gromp, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I was thinking in this game. I had a really nice Darius. He was able to help me a lot start the camp. I got there a little bit late, not really a big deal though. So basically, right now what I'm trying to do is auto Q. If you didn't know, your Q is an auto resetter, and it also steals a flat portion of AD from the thing that you're attacking. So what it does is it steals a flat portion, but it reduces half of that flat portion of the actual thing you're attacking. So yeah, level 1 takes 20 attack and make sure that it gets reduced by 10. Sorry, I don't know how to explain it without sounding awkward. Basically, what I'm trying to do is look at the map right now and see what's happening with my team, and what we're going to be up to. For the most part, this game was a very simple one. I would say it's quite easy. It was a pretty easy game for me. Oh, and I canceled my auto there. I was kind of annoying. So basically, you obviously want to use your W to take most of your camps, not all of them, but most of them. Especially early on when you have to take your Raptors without a Tiamat, because unless you're like getting a kill early on, you're probably not gonna back on a Tiamat. Also, I accidentally put a point into my W, and I kind of was like, "What? Like, what's happening there?" So it's an accident. I clicked a W, Control W on accident, but yeah, it didn't really matter too much. I just, was like, gonna put another point in my queue anyway, so not really a big deal. I just farm. I'm looking. Okay, Kha'Zix is there, so I'm seeing what they're gonna do. I can't roam obviously since I'm in the middle of taking my own blue buff, but if there was a free kill opportunity, I might have roamed. Here's the thing: as Trundle, you want to have a very good early game because I think he excels in early game duels, and if you can get a one-on-one with someone, I guarantee you're gonna win it. If you have press the attack, I guarantee you're gonna win it. You have to like literally cancel autos to I guess lose a 1v1 fight, especially early on. So yeah, I would consider Trundle as a top 5 duelist jungler for sure, 100%. He has a very strong early game. His mid game is pretty decent, but the only thing about Trundle is his scaling isn't completely optimal. He's a very good example of stats kind of guy. He's a very big statistic guy. His ult is all about stealing statistics. So, yeah, Trundle is completely based on, hey, if I have more stats than you, I'm going to win the fight, Or if I can use those stats better than you. Because there's not a lot of, like, things you can do as a Trundle. You're just going to you're going to keep whacking them, right? So, there's not much, like, outplay potential other than having better stats than them. So, that's just one thing. You also have to understand like your pathing very well because as Trundle, if you don't spend your time wisely, you fall behind very fast. I think that's one of the things. Just about junglers in general, like especially lower elo, you see a lot more mistakes being made. Here, I sweep, try to find a ward, found a ward, and I'm like, you know what? It's not worth ganking here. It doesn't give me anything. It's probably not even gonna bust a flash since she's so close to turret. I realized Kha'Zix didn't even take the scuttle, which was a big mistake on his part. But I guess he saw I stole his blue side and he just gave up from there. So Scuttle probably wasn't spawning at that time. I'm trying to see if Alawi has any wards, and it looks like she kind of knows where I am. So I was like, you know what? Let me finish off my last camp. And I do think I recall here, but I'm not too sure. I kind of forgot. Obviously, you want to get rid of the big Krug. Thing is, Trundle doesn't really have a problem clearing his camps. He's a very safe clearer, so that's a very, very nice aspect about Trundle Jungle is like you're not really going to be low on your clears unless you significantly screw things up. Also, one more thing to add on your clears, you never want to go for AoE camps really early on. Like you want to go once you've gotten maybe a Hunter's Towers, not a Hunter's Talisman, sorry. Once you got like a Tiamat, Talisman won't even help you that much, so that's just really up to you for your preference. Here, I try to find something, and I find Kha'Zix doing his Gromp, so I put a missing ping there, but I don't know, missing was a little bit weird. Maybe I should have put something else. Here, I tried to avoid being seen by not going near the minions, because if I had chosen the safe route, or not the safe route, if I chose a faster route, I would have been seen, and being in stealth mode is really important as a jungler because it helps you take objectives with a lot more efficiency. If someone knows where you are, what they can do is either come and tell everyone to go for you, or they can do an objective on the other side of the map, which you don't want to give them that power to do so. So you want to have them always be guessing. So here Lissandra made a pretty okay roam. It wasn't that great. But it did put a lot of pressure on my team. Talon was just doing some stuff here. I see that Thresh is right here. I like to put my thing here, try to hit him a little bit. Then I realize, oh, everyone is there. So I give up immediately, but then I realize, you know what, I'm helping my team out. I bust a flash there, which wasn't the best thinking. However, I do get my team one kill, although no assist, which I didn't really mind. It's not really a big deal. And I stay around just to eat that minion and heal up a little bit. If you didn't know, Trundle's passive, something tribute, I think the King's tribute, is you heal for like a percentage of max HP of anything that dies around you. So it's really awesome. Very good passive. One of the best in the game, honestly. And it just helps you not fall off because Trundle's healing is honestly fucking insane. Sorry for the cussing, but it really is like really insane. Sorry about that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But, I mean, you know. My bot lane here are just looking to shove, grab a plate, maybe two, because their bot lane backed after a decent roam by Lissandra. Here, I realize I have enough for Tiamat, so I'm going to back on this and then go to my red side, because since Tiamat will just speed up my clears exponentially, I choose to do that. Grab a pink ward, because that's very important. If you are newer to the game, pink wards are control wards, because control wards actually used to be pink back in the day, a long, long time ago. So, yeah. That's the thing. That's what we call them, pink wards. And it stuck with me even though I didn't play much back then. Let's see. So Lissandra's right there. I use my W here. I almost always use my W on Raptors. Raptors just take way too long to clear. The only thing that helps you clear it faster is Cinderhulk, and I get that later on. Let's see. So far, not much is happening. It's mostly been a few kills here and there, but objective-wise, I think we are succeeding. Alawi is actually really, really powerful with her ult. I tell this guy, just watch out for Alawi's ult, and boom, she ults. And then boom, that happens, and that wasn't very good. Alawi's healing is probably some of the best in the game. I'm like, you know what, I have to stop Alawi. I place my W there. I ult her. Her healing is really huge, but before her tentacle slapped, I was able to get rid of her. I push in the wave because his wave is slowly pushing into hers, so if it doesn't push on time or if she has TP up, she could abuse that and make a freeze. And of course, Alawi's freezes are really annoying. So I decide to get a plate because I can grab one, and she isn't responding for a few seconds. So I have that little window of opportunity. Here, I'm low on mana, but I want to help clear some tentacles. I look for things on the side of the map, and I see a control ward. So I get rid of that. That's very important. I keep my control ward because I didn't want to place it there. I think control wards are meant to be placed in places where they're not easy to kill. But at the same time, it's like that pixel bush right there is probably my favorite spot for control wards. I think it's the most efficient spot because it gives you vision around like a really important portion of the map. Here I get the plant, of course, because I want to have mana. And then I start the Rift Herald because Rift Herald is really nice right now. And it's going to be nice for the entire season, I guarantee that. I place another control ward there just to make sure. This Kha'Zix doesn't really place a lot of wards, which is something I noticed. So I'm abusing that by, you know, being a little more carefree when it comes to objectives. Here, I can take this Rift Herald by myself. Darius is doing a lot of work and cleaning up Alawi for me. Of course, he didn't use his ult, so he was able to, you know, have that advantage. And boom, she's dead there. So now I say, you know what? Let's take this tower because we need to snowball Darius as fast as well as possible. A Fed Darius is one of the scariest champions or hardest to really get rid of because Darius's healing, just like Alawi's, is ultra incredible. So yeah, a little weird of a superlative to use there or whatever it's called, but you know, I'm like, you know what? Let's take the first tower. Great job to this Darius for getting rid of everyone. I realize, oh, there's people there. And then a TP from is that I don't know. I forgot who TPs. What? Okay, it's Alawi who TPs, and boom, Darius kind of screws up there, but his flash was just enough. I place a pillar just for fun, and he ends up killing Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is incredibly far behind. He's 0-2-0, I think. I don't know. Like, I'm seeing a smaller version of everything. That's why I can't really, like, my vision isn't that good right now because, you know, smaller version. Here, I'm sitting on a lot of gold, and I want to get an item advantage, so I finish my clear. I'm pressing tab quite often. A lot of people always say keep pressing tab, and that cannot be like more right. Like ever since I started pressing tab in games, I think it just really helped me when it comes to like understanding, oh, who do I go for, who do I avoid, and how do I win this game? Because if you want to win a game as a jungler, you have to get someone ahead, unless you're Master Yi. But if you're Master Yi, you have to get yourself ahead, which is actually pretty hard. Because you also have to play him in the right circumstance as well. I know Yi is very huge with farming and stuff, and he is very good at with the funneling strategy, which is obviously being nerfed, but or was nerfed, and I don't know if it's still. It's obviously still viable because funneling is really stupidly overpowered. Talon ends up getting caught out, which is just unfortunate, and Alawi just slams a tentacle on him. It was a pretty easy kill for Alawi, and you know, of course, she has a pretty low mana, so that's a nice thing to point out. If a person has low mana, don't be afraid to engage because honestly, it just makes it really easy. Here, I decided let me go for Thresh, so I ult Thresh to get rid of his armor, resistances, all that stuff, make it easier. He busts the flash, and I still kill him. Here, I'm also going for other people, but you know, it's hard. There's a teleport, so I try to watch out, try to see what's happening. And yeah, so Lissandra TP's here, and I try to make sure nothing happens, but then I'm like, you know what? It's no point trying to help anyone at this point because Lissandra's ult is just really hard to play against. Here I'm like, you know what? Can I go for this dragon? And I end up making the decision to go for it because I'm a little bit ahead right now, and I'm like, I don't think Kha'Zix is going to contest this anytime soon. I also take it relatively fast right now, so I might as well take advantage of that. I'm also like just super ahead of Kha'Zix in general, and that just helps me win this game. And you know, I not to spoil it, but to spoil it, I do win the game because that's basically how to win carry games as Trundle. I mean, that's the title. Or it's not gonna be a title. I don't know. I don't know the title yet, guys. All right, still figuring things out, but. So far right now, it's just me trying to clear. My team is engaging on a bad fight. I ping away. It's like just sacrifice for Khan. I'd rather one person die than multiple. Darius is getting the red buff, which it might be a little greedy, but ends up working out in his favor. So that's just really nice. You know, high risk, high reward. So it's pretty sick. I get my own red buff, and we're red buff buddies. So that's pretty sick. I ping Rift Herald spawning in 2 minutes, so that is really important. If you get both Rift Heralds, you have a really good chance of winning the game. Obviously, Darius just gets caught out and gives a red buff to Ezreal, so we're not really red buff buddies anymore, but it's all G. I'm clearing at the top side. I see Kha'Zix is not alive, so I try to make plays on the top side of the map. Obviously, you know, there's no dragon right now, so I don't have to worry too much. Here I'm like, let me get some boots. I need to get Tabis. They have mostly AD, but then I'm like, you know what? Lissandra has a really good CC, and I need tenacity, so I want to prevent against that. Then I get a chain vest because it's really important to have armor in this matchup because you got Kha'Zix, Alawi, Ezreal, and although Alawi does have Black Cleaver, and that does mitigate an awful amount of my armor, it does also just kind of speak to the fact that if I didn't have armor, I'm going to get melted even faster. So if I can dodge all of Alawi's skill shots, I will honestly render her useless. So here I just clear the mid wave, trying to make sure they can't hit the tower, get anything out of that. And then I'm like, you know what, Lissandra might get caught out here. So I try to go in, boom. She's going to bust a flash here, which is really important. And I'm like, okay, cool. Rakanna ends up doing some good charming, getting a good engage there. But yeah, Lissandra is over there now. And that means that we dive her, I think. No, we don't. We don't end up diving her. That sucks. But it's also very smart because guess what's coming up? Rift Herald. So Rift Herald's basically coming up soon. I decide, you know what? Let me get this Scuttle. Scuttle is really important, by the way. No matter what point in the game you're at, it is very important to have Scuttle vision and just Scuttles in general. Here I'm like, oh, I see Kha'Zix. I'm just going to... Oh, wait, that's Alawi. Sorry. Remember, bad vision. Can't see the big screen. I'm like, okay, you know what? Of course, Alawi's thing, it makes tentacle spawn and have to dodge it. It's really easy to dodge, but if you kill her first tentacle, a second one spawns up. So, that's annoying. Here, I'm like, let me clear some stuff and then think about doing Rift Herald because it's spawning up very cool, very quick. Sorry, I can't speak. It's spawning up very quick. So, yeah, we make that decision. Darius is getting rid of Ward. You know, his auto W combo is really nice. So, I'm like, yeah, let's start it because if the faster we get it, the better. And it looks like they're not going to contest us at all. I don't think they have an idea we're doing it, but at the same time, I feel like they have a slight idea. So here, I just decide to coat the entire area with my W, which helps me, of course, with attack speed and healing. Your W is literally the reason why you're a good champion. Okay, like I know people are talking about, oh, Q's auto resets, amazing, but your W is the reason why you can win fights with way less effort because. You know how I said Trundle was a stats champion? Well, W ameliorates his stats so much, and it's just awesome. Here, I decided to place a Rift Herald because I realized we can get 2 towers instead of 1. It was a pretty good Rift Herald. I lagged a bit here, so I took a turret shot, but it doesn't really matter because I have a lot of armor. 107, I think. I can't really read. Yeah. And it looks like we dive. I just want the assist. I place a pillar there because assists give you money. We got the turret, and I decided, yeah, we got to dip. So I ping everyone. I don't ping anyone here, but I mean, I would. I get rid of that. And then we just don't engage here, which is pretty good. I decide, let me reset and grab a component of Deadman's Plate to complete it later on. Deadman's Plate is something I build very often on Trundle because it helps you reach the backline a lot easier. It just makes you fast, obviously. The energized movement, all that stuff is just really important. Deadman's Plate is one of the best armor items. Gives you a lot of HP, a lot of armor. So it's super sick. Always recommend buying that or Randuin's. If you buy both, then you're going against a really heavy AD combo. If you're playing against someone like Yasuo or Tryndamere or just crit ADCs, then yeah, obviously you're building Randuin's. It's really important. Of course, Randuin's gets, shit on by Infinity Edge, but the chances are, it's just like it helps you reduce Infinity Edge's effects once you actually do get it, because obviously Infinity Edge goes 200 to 225% for the critical strikes, and Randuin's reduces by 25%. I don't know if it has actually, Randuin's might be like separate from, the 200. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, Infinity Edge just reduces the effectiveness of Randuin's, but at the same time, Randuin's just a great crit item, so always recommend buying it. Here, another tentacle spawns up. Yep. That's the thing about Alawi. You kill her first one, she spawns a second one. And that one might get a lot of newer players. That's one thing to consider about Alawi. Here, I'm like, you know what? Let's go in. I ult Alawi, right? Do I ult her? Yep, I ult her. And then I put a pillar there just to make her movement impaired. And then my ult ends up finishing her off instead of the bleed. And then here, I get blocked really heavily by a bunch of tentacles. And I don't know, it's just really weird. So I wanted to do something. I get hit by Ezreal's skill shot, I think twice. Yep. And it does a decent amount of damage, I'm not going to lie. And then I realize, oh, Thresh is there, so I dip because I don't want to get hooked. The hook flay combo is really annoying from Thresh. Here we find Lissandra. I want to kill her, but we end up realizing there's more people, and and that happens. So that was really unfortunate, but here's the thing. Talon's still pretty ahead, so I don't have to worry too much about him, making a somewhat int-worthy play there. I don't really care because I'm really ahead and I'm going to make sure our objective control wins us the game. That's the reason we are even ahead, to be honest, because we're not winning great in kills, only 3 kills more, but the turrets and everything we've done, it's just really important. We're all the way to their base in mid lane, and then in top lane, I think the same thing. Yeah, so that's the thing. Here, I'm like, you know what? I can get Deadman's here because Deadman's, if you get both items, the cost of the entire Deadman's item is just 1100. So since I have more than 1100, I'm like, let me back, get Deadman's, and come back. Because once I go to the team fight, I'll be fully energized and ready to give an energized auto attack or empowered auto attack. Because, of course, when you slap something with your. Well, I have a baseball bat because this is the Trundle skin that was the baseball one, little slugger Trundle, I think. So I'm going to whack someone with my baseball bat for even more AD than I normally do. So that's pretty sick. Pretty awesome. This game, I don't remember. Do I? Yeah, I think I get Spirit Visage or try to get at some point in this game. But yeah, that's the one item I always recommend building, even if there's only one AP guy on their team. Spirit Visage is just way too good. Of course, some champs have ability power in their kit too, even if they consider themselves mostly AD. I mean, Dr. Mundo actually is one of the champions I never knew until like season 9 that he did a lot of magic damage. And that's because of his W, by the way, if you don't know. His W, I think it's called Immolate. I think that's the name of the ability. But yeah, that ability is very good. It's the reason why Dr. Mundo is so hard to play against because he does fucking... Sorry, the F word again. But he does AD and AP. I mean, he doesn't do AP, but he does magic damage, which obviously scales with AP. Okay, so I find Kha'Zix there. He's really weird. I don't like that skin. The skin is disgusting. It just looks weird, right? So at this point, I'm like looking at the map, pressing tab like a lot, and just trying to see what I can do on the map. There's not much you can do at this point, so I try to get some vision, scout a little bit. I realize, oh, I find Kha'Zix, and so I try whacking him a little bit. It works, and then he goes invisible. I put a pillar there, and then he flashes really weirdly. I give Talon the kill because I don't really have a choice. He does use an ult, which is kind of weird, a little bit of overkill, but I don't really mind. Apparently there's something there. Baron Nashor is alive, right? So we've picked 2 people off. So I decided let's go for Baron because objective control is immediately the key to winning a game, honestly. So Rakan gets like kind of screwed here. I'm like, you know what? Let me screw Lissandra for screwing. Okay, so I use my ult just absolutely demolish Lissandra. But then Thresh gives her a lantern, and they're able to survive. Not really a big deal because that really just helped us get Baron, and Ezreal gets vision. We get Baron, and boom, we recall and reset. I have 100 gold. I'm like, let me sell my potion, get 1200 to get the Spirit Visage item. And yeah, so I built half of Spirit Visage. Gotta build the rest later. Honestly, Spirit Visage, like I said, is an amazing item. Here, I decided to tell them to give up the tower even after one wave because of that too. He had to EQ and then flash out, but he didn't end up fulfilling his Q. Here, there was a teleport by Lowy, and so I'm like, you know what? Let's give this tower up because Darius is really low and doesn't have his flash, and it's just not going to be good if we try to defend it. So I'm saying, you know what? Let's dip, give them a tower. They have too many minions. We would just be in a bad position if we didn't give it up. So that's basically like their first turret. I think they have another turret. Yeah, okay, they have like 2 turrets in my... yeah, so they have about 2 turrets. Maybe 3. I wish I could see the whole screen, but I can't. So far, so good. We're doing pretty good with CS compared to Kha'Zix. We have a good lead. Okay, there, Alawi pulls my stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go in a little bit, do a little bit of damage. So Drake's right there, and it's damaged a little bit. So we have a chance of getting it. They're really scared of us. Like, they don't end up engaging on us at all until we actually get the Drake. And I'll tell you why we get the Drake, because watch this. We just go for it. And then they just back away after Alawi misses their skill shot, which is kind of smart. But I decided not to use my W just in case I have to use it for team fighting. Because my W has not the easiest cooldown. And then here, this is how we win the game. Off of this play here, we're just able, and they commit too much. We end up just absolutely slaughtering them. And boom, we ace their team, basically. That's what happens. And then they end up surrendering because we kind of screwed them really hard. So yeah, that's a 24-minute game. I bust a flash for fun, for taunting, all that stuff. I'm the troll king, obviously. Got to troll him a little bit. But yeah, 4-0-5, getting an S-. Pretty solid. Pretty solid. Alright, so here are some stats if you want to see. I didn't do a lot of damage because obviously I'm going full tank. The only damage item I really had was Tiamat. Here's some extra stuff about healing. I healed the most. Like I said, Trundle, his passive just really good. We were able to make him surrender, so we didn't technically end the game the normal way, but we were basically going to win that game. It's hard to squander a lead the higher elo you're in. My Conqueror healing wasn't actually that insane because I didn't stack it up that much. But overall, good game.